This is the psychology secret that will make sure that collectors will buy from you again and again and again. They will keep on coming back for more because of one thing that you give them, one thing that they can't get anywhere else in the world, something they can't get enough of. This little piece of paper, and the thing that it represents is like alcohol for alcohol addicts. They can but drink it. It will give them something that they've been wanting to get for the last decades, and now finally they get it because you give it to them. This is the secret to the kingdom. Now, let me put this away for a moment. The reason Marina Abramović and Damien Hirst and Jeff Koons are making so much money, selling so much art, is because they are giving people, collectors, something they can't get anywhere else in the world. A sense of importance, a sense of belonging, a sense of being better than anybody else. And so that is the question that you have to ask yourself. How can I generate this feeling, an experience that collectors cannot get anywhere else in the world, that will make sure that they keep on coming back and buy my work? Now, I know what you're thinking. You thought that this little piece of paper is a thank you note. Oh yeah, of course, just write a thank you note. That's the advice that you hear all of the time on YouTube, online. Write a thank you note. That's definitely going to be good customer service and make sure that people keep on coming back and buy things again. Like, I'm not going to say that a thank you note is going to hurt. It's not going to hurt, but the idea that people are going to buy a $5,000 artwork again and again and again because you wrote them a thank you note is absolutely laughable. That's just not going to happen. And so what are you going to do instead? By the way, the whole $5,000 is a very important number. This is doable. And if you are able to sell at $5,000, you only need 10 collectors. If you have 10 collectors who want this thing that you give them, which I will be explaining, that will make sure that they keep on coming back again and again and again, and they buy one artwork a year from you at $5,000, that's $50,000 a year. That's a good income. If you can, then you only need 10 collectors. You only basically need to make 10 sales to secure your artist career for a very long time. And by the way, this is a little art world secret. A lot of artists that are selling at the 50k price point, 100k price point, 150k price point, they don't have a lot of collectors. They have a handful, 2 handfuls of collectors, and that's it. And those collectors are the reason why they have an art career. That's true for a lot of artists. Not for the Marina Abramović's, not for the Damien Hirst, sure, but for a lot of artists. And so oftentimes you don't need that many collectors. And so how are you going to make sure that these collectors feel absolutely amazing? A feeling they cannot get anywhere in the world, and they keep on coming back to buy your art. Well, let me tell you a story of when I felt amazing myself. This is the early days. I'm still studying at university. And no, this is right after university. And one of the people that studied with me at university suddenly contacts me. She is writing for one of the biggest magazines in the world, Vice. And she contacts me and she says, I'm going to write an article about your work. She loved the paintings that I made. I developed the painting medium to paint with lightning from the sky as the first human being to ever do that. And she wanted to write about it. So my head as a young artist is spinning. I'm thrilled. This is going to be it. A famous magazine, potentially the most famous magazine in the world at that time, is going to write about my work. Collectors are going to see that, and they will then contact me. Galleries will contact me. Suddenly people are going to buy my art. At that time I was obviously not selling anything, and this is going to be the break, you know, this is going to be it. So I'm thrilled. And she writes this article. The title of the article is, If Zeus Was a Painter, He Would Paint Like Dries Ketels. So I feel like a god. This is unbelievable, you know. I'm fantasizing about the whole career shift that is going to happen. Thousands of people are reading this, unbelievable. And what happens in the next couple of days when the article is published? I see some comments underneath the article. Nothing happens. Nobody contacts me. There are no galleries that are suddenly contacting me. There are no collectors that are suddenly massively buying my work. Sure, a couple of years later I met a couple that saw that and talked to me, but nothing really, you know. What happened was that the only person that was freaking out was me. I was masturbating myself on the idea of becoming the next big hit, on the idea of completely transforming the 21st century art landscape with lightning paintings, something the world had never seen. I was fantasizing about it. I was going nuts in my mind. Now this is the key. I was going nuts in my mind. This is what people want. You need to give them that feeling so that they keep on coming back and buy your art over and over and over again, because they can't get enough of this idea of themselves, this unique sense of importance that you give them. And so this is how the world works. People buy fancy clothes, they buy fancy cars, they buy fancy all over the place. And everybody around them doesn't actually care. The only people that care are the people who bought the clothes and are now walking in the clothes. The only person that cared about the article in Vice magazine was me, not the readers. They couldn't care less. And so this is what we want to generate for those collectors. That feeling that they are on top of the world, that they are walking on clouds, that they are absolutely mesmerized, that they are exhilarated, just like I was exhilarated with that magazine feature. And so how are we going to do that? Well, we have to ask ourselves, what is it that these collectors care about? What do they want? What do they dream of? What are they doing? A lot of them, it's just one collector personality type that I'm exploring here. A lot of them are reading the art history books to understand more about art. And as they are reading those books, they are reading about collectors, famous collectors. This could be them. They are mirroring their own reality, their own identity to those people that they read about in the books. The Guggenheims, the Peggy Guggenheims, for example, So they read about that. They want to be that person. They want to be written about in the art history books. And so once you understand this, that this is your type of collector, for example, then what you can do is you go to the 10 collectors that you have, you send them an email, hey, there's this magazine that wants to write about my work. Send some, if you want to, send some shots of the art that you bought in your interior so that your interior can be featured in this magazine. And your name can also be used and you can be a collector that is featured in an art magazine. Now you're not just some random person, no. You have a chance that this magazine feature will be read 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 150 years from now. You don't know that. And now they are going through this experience. Wow. My name, my art, my collection, wow, this is amazing. And by the way, in my program, The Artist Formula, I give you all of my scripts that I used to get featured in magazines for free. So you don't have to pay for those magazine features, but if you don't want that, you can also, the alternative, pay for those magazine features. Artists do this all of the time. A lot of the top artists, they know that this is an authority generating mechanism and they literally pay to be featured in the magazines. By the way, those 30 under 30 Forbes things, that's also paid for. It's all paid for, And so this is a very common thing that happens. This is one of the most powerful ways to satisfy the collectors that you have and to make sure that you don't have to constantly do marketing all of the time, because here's the thing. What happened after Vice featured me? I talked about it. I was proud of that feature. And so I talked about it to my friends. I shared it with people. So what are these collectors going to do now that you have them in a magazine with their interior? They are being featured. They are being featured. What is going to happen? They will take that magazine and they will share it with their friends. And those friends will be asking those collectors, how is this possible? How does a magazine write about you and your collection? Wow, this is amazing. And they will be jealous. And they will also want to be featured. And then this collector will say, well, I just bought the work of this particular artist. And this artist arranged all of those things. They wanted to write about his work, and that's why my interior and me as the collector is being featured. Now all of those people, those rich friends of those collectors are like, oh my God, I want this as well. perhaps I should also buy this work, and then you also buy your work, and so you don't have to do any selling or marketing anymore. It's all happening for you. And these magazine features, it's not like they cost that much. You know, it's a one-page feature. It doesn't cost that much. Sure, it's gonna cost way more than buying the artist formula, where I explain you a free script that I used without paying anything. But you could just buy a feature, one-page feature in a magazine that you like, $600, $800, $1,000, I don't know how much for your magazine, but you can get that. The key to life simply happens to be making people's dreams come true. This is what Damien Hirst is doing. This is what Marina Abramović is doing. They are making people's dreams come true by providing the services and products that they provide. If you make people's dreams come true, you will be surprised what happens. People will start making your dreams come true as well. There's this energy exchange in the world that just happens for people who are doing good things for other people. And of course, different collectors will want different things. Marina Abramović, for example, she did these satanic things in museums, and then she had these satanic dinners. What's the name of those dinners again? Like, I don't remember the name of the dinners. It's gonna be on the screen, but she had these dinner parties that she organized for important people, where they could come to her satanic oriented dinners. This was an experience that these people couldn't get anywhere else. An experience for those collectors, for those important people that knew people, and she brought them all together in a dinner party. And so that's the whole thing. It's these unique experiences that you can provide as an artist. So then the question becomes, well, how are you going to provide those unique experiences? Well, it's all about understanding the collector. Whoever understands the collector best wins the game. That's it. In order to help you with that, I've made a free PDF list of personality types of collectors, over 30 personality types, so that you can just go through that list, understand their psychology, and then create something that they want. It's free, link in the description. Now, in order to make this video complete, we have to also talk about getting those first collectors. What if you don't have 10 collectors already? What if you have 0 collectors? You've never sold an artwork in your life. Well, I've made a video about that called Drowning in Unsold Art, one skill that makes all others obsolete. Link in the description and in the end screen. That's it. Get the hell out of here.